What's going on, everybody? Mortem here. Just giving this video a quick preamble. So this is a compilation of all the Mythic Path mechanic videos that I've made up to this point, just to kind of put them all in one place. Now I do want to mention that because this is a beta, we know for a fact that at least 2, possibly 3, I guess if you want to count it, Mythic Paths aren't actually in the beta yet. In fact, I don't know if they'll ever be added to the beta. We might not see them until they actually release the full game. I don't know. I'm not Owlcat Games after all. Just keep in mind that you won't see the Gold Dragon, the Swarm That Walks, or the potential Legend option, which is the I didn't choose a Mythic Path option apparently. Not entirely sure how those work because again, they're not in the beta, so I don't know. Just wanted to give you guys a heads up. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I hope you enjoy the video. What's going on, everybody? Mortem here, this time bringing you details on the mechanics of the Demon Mythic Path in Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous, which is currently in beta. Right off the bat, I won't really be covering how the Mythic Path system works because I already have a video on the details of that system. So if you're interested, I recommend you check that video out. I will try to post a link to it down below. In this video, all we are covering is the Demon Mythic Path and the mechanics therein. Every Mythic Path has a quest line associated with it. I can't really cover that because I don't know the entire thing, simply because I only have access to so much in the beta here. But what I'm going to do with this series is simply try to show everybody how the Demon Mythic Paths actually play and some of the mechanics therein. Now keep in mind, everything here is a work in progress. Some of these abilities on this sheet are literally blank. Hard to say what some of them actually do, but I want to give you guys as much of a preview of this beta as I possibly can, so I'm covering what we will. Now, in terms of how to unlock the Demon Mythic Path, it is impossible to miss. So Angel and Demon seem to be the default Mythic Paths. If you unlock nothing else, you'll pretty much unlock those two guaranteed. Throughout the main story, you will come across several required Demon Mythic Paths, and you'll click on those, which will ultimately unlock the Demon Mythic Path when you get to the appropriate place in the story, as explained in the video I previously mentioned. When we actually get to rank 3 of our Mythic ranks, which is the rank we actually get to pick our Mythic Path for the first time, we will of course pick Demon. The Demon Mythic Path primarily revolves around being able to activate a demonic rage. Unlike Barbarian rages and the Blood Rager rages, and basically just normal rages in general, that last for a set number of rounds, based on your level usually, the Demon rages last until the end of combat, period. So you'll get to activate it a couple of times per day, or per rest usually, and then it will last until the end of combat when it is activated. You can only activate it in combat. Now this rage gives us a bunch of bonuses. I'll have the actual tooltip up here on screen, but keep in mind this is beta, some of this stuff might change, so I'm not going to get into specifics. But the demonic rage part of it is a big deal. So when we reach rank 4 is when the Demon Mythic Path actually starts to diversify a little bit. This is where we start getting our demonic aspects as well. We get our summons starting at rank 3, and then we get more every rank. As a Demon Mythic Path, we will be able to summon other demons. We start with a Vrak, then we can summon things like Gibraleths, other words I can't even begin to pronounce, a Lilitu, a Vrolikai. You get to do a Baylor at one point, which is going to be awesome. The other big mechanic here is the demonic aspects. You will be able to adopt one of 8 aspects. Every Mythic rank starting at Mythic 4, you earn one more of those aspects that you can click on, but you will get to pick them in any order as you go. The first of these aspects that you have available to you is going to be the aspect of the Babao. I'm assuming I'm pronouncing that right. I have no idea. We're going to use this as an example. Each demonic aspect usually gives you benefits out of demonic rage and in demonic rage. So when you have adopted the aspect of the Babao, you gain a bonus on all mobility, trickery, and stealth checks equal to half of your demonic rank plus 1. And then when you are in demonic rage, it will increase your sneak attack damage during the rage by 2d6. And if any creature strikes you with a melee attack that is a non-reach, you will actually retaliate with 2d6 acid damage. And then as you increase in rank, these will increase in damage. So as you can see, it has out of rank and in rank things. Now, some of the other aspects available to us are, for instance, the Brimarak. The Brimarak, of course, gives us, again, several bonuses outside of combat, and several bonuses within our demonic rage activation, which seems to be an ongoing theme. Then we have our incubus, same thing, just trying to show you guys all of the aspects here. Mechanically, that is kind of what we're looking at for the Mythic Demon Path. So you'll get a bunch of demonic aspects to choose from, as well as being able to summon a variety of demons. Keep in mind, as far as I can tell, some of these summons all share the same spell slots, so you'll only be able to summon so many, regardless of how many of the summons you have available to you. And I don't think they are ready to show off some of the fancier cosmetic things that happen to you, because a lot of them don't really pop up just yet, as far as I can tell in the beta. But we know from prior mentionings that they will be coming. So there you go, guys. There is a look at the Demon Mythic Path and how it looks mechanically. I hope you guys think it was cool. I plan on doing the other Mythic Paths that are available. They will take me a little bit longer, as I do have to get the footage together for them. Angel and Lich I will actually be able to do fairly easily, but the other couple I will actually have to do a lot more work for to actually unlock and everything. So keep that in mind. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe. The channel is growing tremendously the past few days. But regardless, thank you so much for watching. I truly do appreciate it. May you wander in wisdom and have an amazing day. What's going on, everybody? Mortem here, this time bringing you a look at the mechanics of the Lich Mythic Path in the Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous beta. As it stands right now, just remember that this is a beta. Everything I'm going to show you is technically subject to change. For instance, some of the things on the tree I'm about to show you are just blank, so I have no idea what they are. Furthermore, keep in mind that what I have access to in the beta and I am allowed to show you does not necessarily actually include any cool Lich transformations. Furthermore, while I am not going to cover exactly how the Mythic rank system works, because I already have a video that explains that, which I will link in the description below, I will explain how to actually unlock the Lich Mythic Path with as little spoilers as possible. So with that said, in order to unlock the Lich Mythic Path, all you need to do is in a place called Leper's Smile, which you will go to as part of the main story, you will find a wand. Don't destroy it. Later on, you will find yourself in a place called the Lost Chapel. At some point, you will get access to the basement. You need to bring the wand to the basement of the Lost Chapel. And once you have done that and have a conversation with someone, you will then unlock the Lich Mythic Path at the appropriate time when it comes time to unlock your Mythic Path and actually make a distinction, which happens at rank 3 of your Mythic ranks. So I realize that was super bare bones, but again, the intent is to not spoil anything for anyone. So with that in mind, let us talk mechanics. Okay, so first things first, when you actually become a Lich, you get a ton of stuff right off the bat. So you're going to get a skeletal champion, which you will be able to define, meaning that you'll get one of 4 types to choose from. You will get access to a Summon Fallen ability. Now, I could not get this Summon Fallen ability to work, but much like all of the other summon monster abilities on this particular tree, I assume it's just a random summon a various kind of undead spell. And then we get access to Lich powers. Lich powers are nuts. You will actually eventually get 3 of them, but in their current state, they are so strong. So I'm going to try to get a list of them up on screen here, but there's just a ton of these. And we will also get several abilities that just straight up empower undead that are around us, which makes sense being a Lich, of course. Those being Lord Beyond the Grave and Dark Rites. At rank 5, which I can't actually show you guys because of what I have access to and what I'm allowed to show, you will get the Lord of Death talent feat, whatever they want to call it. Essentially, your character becomes a sort of pseudo-deity in that the undead you raise will be allowed to use you as the source of their spells, as opposed to the deity that they knew in life, presumably. You are supposed to be able to raise bosses as undead champions to use as your party as a Lich, which I heard is a thing. I don't really know all of how that works, but I know for a fact that this Lord of Death thing is tied into that. Now, something else really cool you get as a Lich is immediate access to a ton of necromancy skills. So regardless of how many levels you have in Lich, the second you put 1 into it, you get 6 caster levels of Lich, which essentially gives you a separate pool of spells for your Lich ability. So regardless of what class you're playing or what spells you're doing, you immediately get a ton of necromancy spells that you can memorize and use as a normal spell book that is separate from your regular class, which is, needless to say, incredibly strong. There you go, guys. There is a look at the current state of the Lich abilities in the game. Unfortunately, I'm not able to show a lot of the cosmetic stuff because a lot of that stuff doesn't come until later on. However, I think you can tell simply by the powers that are available just from here, this is going to be a ridiculous class, which honestly doesn't surprise me too much, simply because I think Lich is going to be a very popular option for Mythic Path. There you go, guys. That's everything I have to say on the matter. I would love to know what you guys think about it. If you have any questions down below, I'm pretty active in my comments, so I will try to answer them to the best of my ability. With that out of the way, thank you guys so much for watching. I truly just can't thank you enough. The channel's growing every day, and I really appreciate your guys' time. So, I hope you wander in wisdom, and have an amazing day. What's going on, everybody? Mortem here. This time bringing you a look at the mechanics and an overview of the Angel Mythic Path options in the beta of Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. So real quick, just to get it out of the way, this is a beta, things are subject to change, and I'm also trying to keep this as spoiler-free as possible. With that in mind, the Angel is one of the two Mythic Paths that are basically the default option, which is Angel and Demon. So what that means is you don't have to do anything special to unlock the Angel Path, other than maybe use some of the Angel Mythic Path options up to this point in the game when you actually pick your Mythic Path, which is at Mythic Path rank 3. Furthermore, if you're curious about how the Mythic Path system works, I won't be covering that in this video. However, I do have a video that covers exactly how the Mythic ranks work and how you go about picking and unlocking specific Mythic Paths. With that stuff out of the way, let's get into it. At Mythic Path rank 3, you actually get to pick what your Mythic Path will be. So obviously, we're going to pick Angel because we should have unlocked it because it's just kind of the default option, as I mentioned. Now, I do want to mention that when you go to pick the Angel option, it shows these Flame of Life, Blinding Light, and Piercing Ray Halo options on the side here. I can't verify where those are. So I'm not saying they're not in the path, but I guess I don't have access to maybe how to unlock these. At first I thought maybe they were like Halo options that you could turn on or something, but they don't seem to be anywhere on the Mythic Path tree, and I certainly don't get access to them while playing. So I'm not really sure what that's about. Jumping into what the tree actually entails. So a couple of things. One, you get an Angelic Halo. Now the Angelic Halo will give allies within a certain feet, 50 feet in this case, a bonus to their AC as well as saving throws against evil creatures. Now, that is actually also a cosmetic option that I will hopefully have up and showing you guys, because it is one of the cosmetic options I can actually show you. It is basically like the ASMR's normal halo that you can turn on and off, but it is much brighter and fancier. Now, the other features of the Angel Mythic Path are the Sword of Heaven, the Summons, as well as the Mythic Spellbook. So, as you can see, we can summon a bunch of various types of angels and spirit paladins and stuff. Now, unfortunately, I can't show you these because I could not get any of them to work, much like the Lich's summons. They seem to operate on a spell slot of some sort that does not replenish when I rest, so it permanently says I do not have the ability to summon this stuff. And it at no point explains what I need to do to actually make these work, so I'm thinking it's just a bug. Furthermore, so you might see where it says Improved Angelic Halo. I'm thinking those options, which I don't have the ability to show you guys due to what I'm allowed to show you. So even if I were to get to that rank, I couldn't show you what it was. I think those are the options for the Halos at the beginning, but it's construed in a very weird way, I guess is my point. So let's talk about the main feature, Sword of Heaven. So Sword of Heaven will allow you to imbue your weapon with holy power, giving you extra damage and things, as you can see on screen here. Now, the interesting thing is that it does not tell you is that this is actually a minute timer on this Sword of Heaven. So when I first turned on rank 3 here of the Angel, I got 2 uses of it per rest, and it lasted a minute each. I don't know if that increases because it does not tell me. Even when you have it in your spellbook, it never elaborates. So I imagine that's just something they haven't filled in yet, but at least in its current form, that's what it does. Now you might see on rank 4 and up that we get an improved Sword of Heaven. Now, I was initially planning on showing you guys what those improvements were. However, I ran into a critical game progress stopping bug that is preventing me from progressing the Angel Mythic Path. It is a bug specific to the Angel Mythic Path quest that is preventing me from ranking it up. I do apologize for not being able to show you those powers. I know in my previous videos I've gone over those pretty extensively. However, in this one, I literally just can't because the game has bugged out and will not let me do it. Because, you know, it's a beta, so here we are. But just know that the Sword of Heaven is upgradable, I assume with various powers, much like all of the other Mythic Paths I've covered up to this point. It's probably something angel-based. It's probably like an aspect or something that then adds more things to the Sword of Heaven. It's worth noting that at Mythic Rank 8 and Mythic Rank 10, the powers are supposed to be of a much greater magnitude, so that's something to keep in mind. And then the last thing I want to talk about is that much like the Lich, the second we become an angel on Mythic Path Rank 3, we get access to a Mythic Spellbook, which essentially just gives us 6 caster levels of Angel, and you can actually see a bit of a UI bug here where it doesn't actually say Angel, but it gives us 6 caster levels as well as a bunch of predetermined spells, all kind of in the healing domain, if you will, conjuration and enchantment technically, but you know what I mean. It's all like healing spells and things like that and buffs. You don't really get to pick any of those, it just kind of is what it is. It's my understanding that these spells, for the most part, are considered divine spellcasting, so I'm assuming they scale off of wisdom, but for the most part, most of it's buffs and stuff anyway, so just keep that in mind. Alright guys, so there you go. There is what we are looking at for the Angel Mythic Path in the Wrath of the Righteous beta. Now, I do have 3 more Mythic Paths at a minimum to cover until they add the last 2 in at the very least. Now that said, those last 3 will take me quite a bit longer to actually take care of, simply because I do have to run through the game again to unlock those Mythic Paths, which is just going to take me a little bit longer. But that said, I certainly hope you guys enjoyed the video and found it informative. If you did, I certainly hope you like, comment, subscribe, stick around, all that jazz. We are growing tremendously. Chances are I hit 4,000 subscribers the day this video went live. Again, just thank you guys so much. Truly means a lot to me. You wander in wisdom and have an amazing day. What's going on, everybody? Mortem here, this time bringing you a look at the Aeon Mythic Path in the Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous beta. So, just as a quick heads up, I'm not going to be going over how the Mythic Path system works because I already have a video about that. I'll try to post a link to that down below in the description, so if you're curious about how this system works as a whole, you can click on that video, it'll give you a rundown. Today, we are here to talk about the Aeon, so let's do just that. First off, how do you unlock the Aeon as an option for a Mythic Path? It's impossible to miss the start of it, however, it is possible to miss it. So the start of it, you actually have to engage with it to progress the story in the first act. You'll find an item and Aeon contacts you, or at least what's left of an Aeon. So just real quick, Aeons in Pathfinder are beings of pure law and order. Outsiders and alien to the universe in a lot of ways, but suffice to say they're basically like the embodiment of law. So you'll encounter what's left of one in an item. You can actually choose to reject the Aeon right there, which obviously for this you can't do. You need to accept it. However, later on in Act 1, spoiler free here, specifically at the end of Act 1, you're required to deal with a situation. That situation will have an option to use the Aeon Mythic Path. You have to use that option at that moment to continue on this path. If you don't, the Aeon is no longer an option, even if you decided to take it with you earlier. With that explanation of how to get the Aeon Mythic Path, let's talk about what it can actually do for you. So the Aeon is very interesting. So you'll get these abilities called Enforcing Gazes. They do a variety of things. I'll have them up on screen later, but suffice to say, it usually gives your characters bonuses as well as giving the enemies negatives, and they can be really strong. Now, there's actually 3 of them, and at Mythic Rank 10, you'll be able to use all of them simultaneously, which I imagine will be pretty ridiculous. And then there's the Aeon Banes. Aeon Banes will effectively just similar to an Inquisitor, and these effects actually stack with an Inquisitor's Bane. You'll basically get bonuses to deal with enemies, and not only that, it will actually also make your strikes effectively a dispel magic spell. Like just hitting something will dispel magic, which is really awesome. Then we have the Aeon immunities. So as you rank up, you will continue to gain immunities to various types of effects. Now, right off the bat, once you pick Aeon immunity at rank 3, when you actually get to choose the Mythic Path, you will immediately become immune to poison, disease, and confusion, as well as get a bonus saving throw on every chaotic enemy. Well, get bonuses on your saving throws against chaotic enemies, I should say. So in addition to this, we also get the ability to summon several golems as we rank up. However, much like the Lich and the Angels summons, for some reason these don't want to work. So far, the only Mythic Path summons that have actually gotten to work are the demons, interestingly enough. But the rest of them just don't seem to work for whatever reason. It requires a spell slot that the game just doesn't want to give you no matter how much you rest, so you can't summon them. Just to kind of summarize here, if you become an Aeon, you're going to become immune to tons of stuff. You're going to get access to the Enforcing Gazes. You're going to get the Aeon Bane, which will let you effectively dispel magic from your enemies as well as deal some extra damage later on. You get to summon golems. So overall, I think it's going to be a pretty strong Mythic Path for people who are just trying to be straight up immune to stuff. It's going to be very hard to affect an Aeon, especially against chaotic demons, because most demons are chaotic evil. It's going to be very hard for them to basically do anything to you as an Aeon because they're chaotic, and basically all of the abilities here for an Aeon are essentially just countering that left and right. There you go, guys. There is a look at the Mythic Path mechanics for the Aeon. I really hope you enjoyed it. It seems like it's going to be a very cool Mythic Path. But honestly, just thank you so much for watching. I truly do appreciate it. May you wander in wisdom and have an amazing day. What's going on, everybody? Mortem here, this time bringing you a video about the Trickster Mythic Path in Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous, which is currently in beta. Just right off the bat, I'm not really covering what the Mythic Path system is in this video because I've already made a video about it. I will try to post a link to that down in the description below if you're curious about what it is and how it works specifically. That video will help you out. I'm trying to keep this as spoiler-free as possible, but with that in mind, I will direct you guys to how to actually pick up this Mythic Path as an option. This Mythic Path is missable, but they do kind of put it right in your face. So early on, you'll be required to confront some bandits, let's say. The option for the Trickster Mythic Path will show up. This conversation has to happen. It's part of the story in Act 1. What you might be thinking is that you'll resolve this situation some other way, and maybe there will be other Trickster options in the future, because this happens pretty early on. However, this is the only Trickster Mythic Path option that will come up before you actually choose your Mythic Path at rank 3. So if you don't choose this right here, you're gonna miss it. Early game conversation, when a Trickster Mythic Path conversation shows up, click it, it's your only shot. It does have a pretty amusing ending. Fast forward a couple Mythic ranks and an act, and we actually get to pick our Mythic rank. So let's talk about what a Trickster is mechanically. So what a Trickster actually is pretty self-explanatory, but what do they get that makes them mythic? So for starters, they get even more sneak attack die. So sneak attack, while I haven't personally verified this as far as the Mythic Path goes, sneak attack dice tend to stack together. So there are various classes that pick up sneak attack dice. Every couple levels, they'll usually get another one, and this is a stacking bonus of precision damage. So essentially, you'll go from 1 die 6 to picking up another rank of 2 die 6, kind of carrying on with that. Now, I don't know if the Mythic Path stacks with your regular skills. I would only imagine it does, simply because that tends to be how these Mythic Paths work. So I just want to mention that I'm assuming these sneak attacks stack with all of your other ranks. So if you pick up a class like Assassin or Rogue or whatever that already gets sneak attack dice, you'll get even more sneak attack dice with this Mythic Path. You also get a variety of summons specifically related to your Mythic Path, which seems to be the case for all of the Mythic Paths. The theme for the Trickster one seems to be Fae from the First World. In fact, a lot of these types I recognize specifically from Kingmaker, so I'm curious if they updated the models on those like they did everything else. And then, rather interestingly, Tricksters get an ability called Sneaky Quack, which is essentially sneak attack damage, but for like heals. So I thought that was really cool. Basically, if your character is a healer, anytime that they would be trying to heal an ally that is flat-footed, thus, would be susceptible to sneak attack damage, you'll actually heal them for extra health depending on your actual sneak attack dice. So it's basically like literally just reverse sneak attacking, but for your heals, which I thought was a really cool ability. It's very unique, if nothing else. And then that brings us to our mythic tricks. So this is probably like the crux of being a trickster, of course. So there's quite a few of these, and basically they line up with what your actual skills are. Your character skills, which, every character gets and specializes in. Trickster can find various ways to affect those that are both beneficial and interesting. A lot of them are unique. Some of them I don't know that would be super useful all the time. This ranges from turning your athletics skill into the ability to basically perform an athletics check to remove debilitating conditions. We'll also, if you have the knowledge world rank for a mythic trick, it'll let you roll a knowledge world check to help your companions with their skill checks. The stealth one will let you enter stealth in combat as a low-key invisibility spell, but you're technically just in stealth. The trickery mythic trick will essentially let you use dispel magic, but as a trickery check, which is just a lot of interesting stuff, really. Again, I don't know how super useful all of it would be. And then at the later ranks, it appears you get to upgrade it. So these seems to be a bit of a ranked system, and I don't know if you can stack ranks or if only the greater mythic trick ranks. I don't have access to everything, so I can't double check that, but it would appear you do get to rank these up in some form or another, so something to keep in mind. And that pretty much sums up the mythic path for the Trickster, guys. You get, again, all those extra sneak attack dice, the very interesting Sneaky Quack healing ability, as well as the summons from the Fey world, and moreover, you get all these mythic tricks to choose from, which again, a lot of interesting choices. Not quite sure what to make of this tree yet, guys. I guess I'd have to see this late game to kind of see how it stacks up to other ones, because it just strikes me as very odd. Now that said, potentially, if you're running like an assassin or something like that who already gets a ton of sneak attack damage, I could see you getting just insane sneak attack criticals with this. There is a look at the mechanics of the Trickster Mythic Path. And one last thing before somebody comments about it, I am aware that the number of sneak attack dice is limited, but I don't know, for instance, if the sneak attack dice cap for the mythic ranks is a separate cap. There's just a lot of ways they could handle that to make it feel powerful in game, and I just don't have all the answers there yet, but I'm sure eventually we will get them. However, nonetheless, this is a look at what the mythic Trickster path will get you. I truly hope you enjoyed the video. It means a lot to me that you chose to watch it. And with that out of the way, I hope you wander in wisdom and have an amazing day. What's going on, everybody? Mortem here, this time bringing you a video about the mechanics and an overview of the Azata Mythic Path in Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous, which is currently in beta. Just a heads up, not explaining the whole Mythic Path system in this video because I've already made a video about it. I will post a link to that video down below if you're interested. Moreover, trying to keep this as spoiler-free as possible. However, the Azata Mythic Path is a little more difficult to track down than the rest of the 6 that are currently in the game. So just to give a brief rundown, eventually you're going to go to a place called Market Square where you're going to find some priests that are arguing with each other. One of them is going to run away. You're going to get a quest to go track that guy down. You need to find him, you need to not kill him, and afterwards, a group of 3 acolytes, shall we say, will come approach you and give you another side quest that you then need to resolve and be nice to them, which will unlock the Azata Mythic Path. Very easy to miss. But let's talk about what the Azata Mythic Path can do for you. First, what is an Azata? So Azata are the race that comes from Elysium in Pathfinder, Elysium being one of the realms. Azata are basically like good aligned Fae almost. They're a race that lives there. They have a wide range of powers. They have a very interesting society that ultimately prioritizes things like personal freedom. So they're basically chaotic good. Moreover, while they are a race, they don't exactly conform to any particular physical standard. A lot of them have animalistic elements to them, or even like elemental body parts, stuff like that. So defining them can be a little difficult. So now that we've got that out of the way, what can being an Azata actually do for you? So first things first, yes, this is the Mythic Path that gets you a dragon companion. That dragon's name is Aivu. It's decently strong. It is supposed to gain in power as you gain mythic ranks, but as you can see on screen, it's pretty adorable. And it's also worth noting from the appearance of this dragon, as well as the Azata themselves and being chaotic good, they are fairly whimsical in nature. So in addition to getting your dragon companion, which by the way, does count as a pet slot, however, it does not count against your pet if you already have one. So for instance, here I'm playing an Inquisitor Sacred Huntmaster who gets a pet by the nature of their class. However, I also get Aivu on top of that pet. From there, let's move on to what we actually get mechanically. First things first, we get all of the summons that we normally get from pretty much every Mythic Path, except these summons actually do work, which is not the case for 4 of the Mythic Paths for some reason. However, you can summon a Mastodon and the Monaic Devas later. You will also get bardic-like songs. These basically seem to perform the exact same way as like the actual bardic songs from the Bard class. They just seem to be way more powerful than those. In addition to this, we also get superpowers. So superpowers are honestly kind of crazy. There is in total 7 of them. You will ultimately get to choose 2 of them, one at rank 4, one at rank 6. These are way strong. Like, it's incredible what these will do for you. Like, all skilled, for instance, basically makes you proficient with all types of weapons, armor, and basically anything you want to wear or wield. Also, you get to roll the die twice on literally any skill check you make and take the best result. So it's just dumb. Plus, it adds the mythic rank to the skill checks, and that's just one of them. Basically, all of these have very similar effects. They're just crazy. Like supersonic speed, for instance, just makes you permanently hasted in combat. A lot of really strong stuff here with the Dragon Companion, plus all of these superpower abilities, plus the bardic songs. There is quite a bit going on with the Azata. Like most of the Mythic Paths, you will also actually get a little bit of extra spell levels for various like spell domains. So for this one, it's the Good Alliance spell domain that like healers and stuff seem to get. You'll get to pick a few spells from that. Though it seems to be just level 1. I haven't got anything stronger for them, so it doesn't seem to be like particularly interesting, to be honest, for this one. There you go, guys. There is the Azata Mythic Path for you. I hope it answered some questions. It certainly seems to be pretty interesting. In addition to the Dragon Companion, you do also get the appearance of just butterflies flying around you permanently, apparently, as part of the initial take, so you don't have to do anything special to get that appearance. And that, guys, is pretty much going to wrap it up. There is the Azata Mythic Path. This is the last one that is currently in the beta. There are a couple more that I will try to do once they actually get added in, if they do. With that in mind, guys, truly, thank you for watching. May you wander in wisdom, and have an amazing day.